Don't forget to wishlist Master of Command on Steam. It's the best way to support the game. Hey everyone, this is the 9th development log for Master of Command. I only planned on making 10 of these, so this series is coming close to completion. Make sure to write down anything else you want to see, and I'll try to include it for our final development log next time. So I'm just gonna jump straight into things. We have officially changed the perspective of our game. You can see here the old orthographic camera, which you're likely familiar with. But now, the game utilizes a 3D camera, which lets you really feel part of the action much more. It's not fully 3D, meaning you can't twist the camera side to side, but you can still rotate the camera up and down. As I zoom out, we can also notice here that the style of the battlefields themselves have also undergone a pretty significant change. Here's an example of the old roads and farms that you've probably seen in previous development logs. And here's the new style of maps. I ended up throwing out all of my old maps as they were using a lot of 2D assets that didn't look quite right, as well as the old farm fields and roads. They also utilized an incorrect map scale. Previously, I'd just build based on intuition, but now I'm measuring out my references to make sure every battlefield represents a 1-to-1 scale representation of a 4 kilometers wide and 3 kilometers tall battlefield. This will help unify the look of many of my historical battlefields, which were previously scale agnostic. I think the new look of the farms and roads, paired with the new 3D camera, all help to make you feel like you're on the ground with your troops. And speaking of being on the ground with the men, we're about halfway done with the game's sound design. You can hear the men march, the drums beat, and some decent firing sounds now. Additionally, the music that your regiment plays will change based on the musicians that you've equipped to them. The next step will be to get some voices in for the men to shout their orders, but that's currently on the back burner. Something I've personally loved about this new on-the-ground perspective is that you can now watch artillery fire and see its shots not only land in the distance, but skip off the ground. This was previously not possible to view in the old orthographic view. It's very satisfying seeing a cannonball smash into part of the line and the troops drop. The next thing I want to show off before we get to covering the game's renowned historical units is the new main menu. The previous one looked awesome, but I felt like it didn't describe the game very much. This new one really helps to show what is truly unique about this project. A soldier smoking his pipe, as he was presumably given the tobacco rations item, and he sits by other items featured in the game too. 2 ladies stitching together a regimental flag, just as the player will do when they edit their flags at camp. 2 men polishing a cannon, representing the artillery units that you can lead, and a cavalryman of course in the distance as the 3rd type of unit that you can recruit. The unique thing about this hussar in particular is that he's a Death's Head hussar, and this represents the renowned historical units that you can unlock. So let's talk about that now. Every nation has 10 renowned units. These regiments are unlocked as you receive promotions and rank up for each playable nation. Ranking up is done simply by playing and is a form of meta progression, so your rank doesn't reset between playthroughs. Promotions happen regularly, so there isn't any sort of grind to worry about. It's just a small bit of progression to reflect which nations you play the most. To recruit a renowned unit, you will receive them as potential rewards while campaigning depending on the region that you take. For example here, notice that if I take this region and complete the side objective, I will be awarded the Totenkopf Hussars. Prussia's 10 unlockable renowned units include the Itzenplitz Musketeers, the Prince von Preußen Musketeers in a lovely rose facings uniform, the Lenoble Jägers, the Avweide Feldjägers, the Heinrich von Preußen Fusiliers wearing bold yellow, the Winterfeld Grenadiers, the Grenadier Guards, previously known as the Potsdam Giants under the reign of Frederick the Soldier King, the Death's Head Hussars, of course, the Bayreuth Dragoons, and the Pennever Life Carabineers. Renowned units' stats will be similar to the unit that they're based off of, but with slightly higher morale. So for example, the Itzenplitz Musketeers are similar to the Prussian Drilled Musketeers, but with a slight morale buff. Britain's 10 renowned units include the Schaumburg Lippe Artillery, the Campbell's Highlanders in their iconic tartan kilt, the Legion Britannique Musketeers, not really much of an elite unit, but certainly iconic to the 7 Years' War, the Royal Welch Fusiliers, the Hanoverian Foot Guards, the Coldstream Guards with navy blue trousers to match their facings, the Von Roth Hussars, the Buckeberg Carabineers, boasting a very unique helmet, the 1st Dragoon Guards, and the Royal Horse Guards, also known as the Blues. Some renowned units in the game were not active participants in the 7 Years' War, but I still wanted to include them in this game as it's not about reenacting the exact battles of the conflict, but waging your own war in the way that you want to fight it. Russia's 10 renowned units include the Pskovsky Musketeers, the Kievsky Musketeers, the Müller-Sokomalski Jaegers, Russia's only Jaeger unit fielded during the 7 Years' War, the very iconic Preobrazhensky Life Guards, the Chugoyev Cossacks, which Russia can field alongside their regularly recruitable Don and Slobodian Cossacks, the Serbsky Hussars, the Grand Prince Cuirassiers, the Tverskoy Dragoons, the Munich Cuirassiers, and the Shuvalov Howitzers. You can learn more about many of these units using the website Chronoskoph, which I've mentioned in previous development logs. A lot of these regiments have their entire histories written on that website, which includes their role during the 7 Years' War. Austria's renowned units include the Deutschmeister Fusiliers, any fire and maneuver players will recognize these, the Esterhazy Fusiliers from Hungary, the De Linie Fusiliers hailing from the Austrian Netherlands, the Ottokanner Grenzers from Croatia, the Saruman Grenadiers, the Green Loudon Grenadiers, the Kaiser Franz Hussars, the Archduke Joseph Dragoons, the Alt Modena Cuirassiers from Italy, and the Perkop Artillery. The final nation on the list is France, and their units include the Diesbach Fusiliers from Switzerland, the Royal Scots Fusiliers from Scotland, the Royal Swedish Fusiliers from, you guessed it, Albania, no, they're from Sweden, the Grenadiers of France, the French Guard, or Garde Française, a personal favorite of mine, the Swiss Guard, the more loyal counterpart to the Garde Française during the French Revolution, the Musketeers of the Guard, the Royal Allemande Cavalry, the Grenadiers à Cheval, and the 5th Royal Artillery. That includes all 50 of the renowned units of Master of Command, and all shown off on our new 3D battlefields. I hope you're as excited as I am, and if you're interested in joining the community, follow the Discord link below, and don't forget to wishlist the game. We've only got one development log left for Master of Command, so please let me know below everything you want to see in our final showcase.